So this week I learned Robert McCammon is an author I need to buy more books from. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another weekly update, guys. We are almost towards the end of June here, and we are officially in the season of summer. So, guys, lots of fun things to talk about this week. We're going to just go ahead and kick right off with what am I reading, as I kind of joked about there at the beginning. Robert McCammon continues to be awesome, you guys. This is 2 for 2 for me now. I did finish Swan Song, and I'm not going to lie to you, the last 50 pages were read through tears in my eyes. This book was spectacular, even better than it was advertised. And I have never heard anyone say anything bad about this book. So it grabbed me from the first chapter, you guys, and it never let up. This big monster of a book never dragged. There was never a character I was not invested in. This guy is amazing with characters. And it's so crazy because when you're dealing with people, you know, going across the company or the country in like a dystopian wasteland, and you're going to be, you know, you're going to lose characters, you're going to gain characters, things like that. What he was able to do with this is he did actually make me give a damn about all these new characters show up. But seriously, by like the end of like the first or second chapter, these new characters show up, I was invested in them. So this guy did just absolutely an amazing, amazing job. And guys, I didn't think it could get better than Boy's Life. I think this blew Boy's Life away, and I loved Boy's Life. I think it's going to be hard to find something to knock this off of my book of the year so far. This was an absolutely amazing read, and I got to thank you guys. For all the way back when I reviewed The Stand, a lot of people say, hey, you like The Stand, I think you would like this quite a bit. Now, that is going to come up quite frequently when you talk about this book, because these two are always kind of compared. It's almost like a Deep Impact Armageddon kind of thing. It's just sometimes people have like similar ideas. I'm not going to take away from either one of them, guys. I love both of those books, and this one absolutely blew me away. I'll talk more about those comparisons when I review this, because I am going to review this because there's so much more to say. But yeah, absolutely wonderful, and completely blew me away, guys. And so if you haven't done it yet, here's what I'll say. It's hard for me to say, hey, why don't you sneak this 900-page book into your TBR, but it's worth burning your TBR down for. It really is that good. I can't say enough great things about this. It's just spectacular. And now my only question is, good Lord, what Robert McCammon do I read next? Because it is no longer a matter of if, it is a matter of when. So I was supposed to continue with Dark Tower. I decided to take a quick break on that. And I want to kind of clear the air on this. I know a lot of people, I mean, obviously I haven't hidden this, that I don't like some things that are decisions that are made in book number 6 of Dark Tower. And we're doing that read-along on the channel. And I'm not going to lie, on the Discord, everyone there really is fine with it. They don't have any of the problems I do, and people think that's why I'm kind of bouncing out. Guys, maybe you haven't watched the channel before. I started this channel with the idea of it's okay to disagree. I don't want an echo chamber. I don't want everyone to agree with me. That's how we learn, is by talking to each other. So that is absolutely not true. What is true is I felt like I was bringing everyone down, because I have very, very strong opinions about things that happen in that book. And I felt like I was ruining everyone's fun. And no one, at least not where I came from, no one wants to feel like the person who's ruining the party. So I decided I don't want to influence anyone's ideas or how they're feeling or how they're enjoying something. So I said I'll take a break, and when they're done with the read-along, then I'll continue with it and continue my coverage on the channel. But that's why I decided to take a quick break for now. Also, not going to lie, I got a little bit of fantasy burnout at the moment. You know, that's why I did Jade City, which I felt was borderline fantasy at best, maybe more urban fantasy than anything, and now Swan Song. And then, guys, I went ahead and picked this up, Call of the Wild. It's one of the classics that I put on that list of classics I wanted to read this year. It's one I've never read before. Very short. I'm almost done with it, obviously. And that is a beautiful edition, isn't it? I'm going to talk about it more on my book haul. So this is one of those rare occasions where I get something, and before I can even talk about it on the book haul, I've already started reading it. So I imagine I'll finish that sometime this weekend. What I didn't know about Call of the Wild is that it's point of view of a dog. I had no idea. I would have read this much, much earlier if I'd known that, guys, because I love my doggies. I'm enjoying it. It's for a well over 100-year-old story. I'm enjoying it quite a bit, and I know that my kid wants to watch the movie that came out with Harrison Ford a couple years ago, so I can do some comparing and contrasting to that. But I wouldn't say it feels like that old. You know, sometimes I talk about some of these books that were written long before any of us were here. You can really tell they were written a long time ago. I don't get that feeling from this. It feels very, 60s, 70s-ish to me, kind of like that Edgar Rice Burroughs kind of way. But I continue to be interested in talking about all these things on the channel if that's something that you guys want to hear about. I know that's one of the classics that people seem to be the most interested in when I said I was going to read them. So if I'm not doing Dark Tower, guys, what am I going to be doing for the rest of the month? Well, that's a great time to slip into what am I going to read. Since I'm having a little bit of fantasy problems, I'm thinking it might be time for some sci-fi. Yes, I just did the dystopian one. I think it's time for some hard sci-fi. So what can I possibly do that doesn't interject with that read-along that we got starting on the 1st? What can I do in about a week? I think this seems like a good length, right? Doesn't seem too long. Doesn't seem too bad. The font size is pretty good. Why not? Why not? I've had the 3 bodies here, Remembrance of Earth's Past, on my to-read list for quite some time now, and I just keep scooting it back, and I say I want to read it before that Netflix series came out. So I said, here's what I want to do with this, because I'm not positive it's a series that's going to click with me, because I do hear, most stuff is over-the-top praise for this. I'm not going to lie. Most of it really is. There are some people who say, I don't know, there's some things. So instead of committing to reading the whole trilogy in a month like I've been doing with a lot of other series, I think this will be a good one where I can break it up and say, hey, let me read this first book, and if I like it, I will continue with it. So I'm not sure what to expect, but I figure I can get this done before the 1st. That is kind of the goal for next week, because yeah, like I said, I think I need some sci-fi in my life, and that's always a place to turn when I'm done with Swords and Shields for a bit. So like I said, I don't think there's anything you can tell me that I haven't already heard about how amazing this is, or how it didn't really work for you, or any of those things. But I am excited to finally do it, because I feel like I've been talking about doing it forever. So I know some people wanted to read this along with me, but that's this whole thing with this whole reading freedom thing that I've decided to do this year, is some things are just going to kind of sneak up out of nowhere. So you got nothing to read next week, guys. Feel free to join me. I guess that's what I'll say. What else? I guess then I'll be kind of dipping into my cruise reads. We are going on a cruise over 4th of July. So I'm going to be starting the first Codex Alera book, which is Furies of Calderon, I think is the first book in that series. And then on the cruise, I'll be taking that and Jade War with me. So that'll be my 2. That's the only 2. I'm not taking my Kindle, guys. I'm only taking those 2 books with me on the cruise, so I'm not tempted to start anything else, because I was already kind of joking with some people that everybody's just carrying on so much about live ship traders. I almost said screw everything, just started reading it, and I said, hey, and I'll have a nice excuse because I'll be on a ship, right? Well, no, I'm not going to take my Kindle, because I know that will just get me in trouble. So I'm just taking Furies of Calderon and Jade War with me, so I can commit to reading what I said I was going to read. So guys, that's all I got really kind of planned for now. And then like I said, read along starts on the 1st, so if you want to join us, by all means hop on the Discord and do so. Let's move along to this week on the channel. Some interesting ideas, I think, this week. One that I borrowed from my friend Madison is she did one on her channel. It was favorite moms in fantasy. She did that for Mother's Day. So I said, well, how about I borrow that idea for Father's Day? And I did get her permission before people accuse me of stealing stuff. Sometimes there's just ideas that are just great, and we don't mind getting different takes on these things as fellow content creators. But still, I don't want to feel like I was stepping on anyone's toes. But favorite fathers in sci-fi and fantasy. And it's really funny is in that video there's a big one that I left out, and I didn't realize it until I was editing, and people are like, wow, I can't believe you would have left that out originally. Well, it's the thing when you just do this live, guys. You're just kind of going off memory. A lot of things like that, I'll just have bullet points, and I didn't even write on my bullet points of the names that I wanted to talk about in that. So I had to just do like a quick voiceover because I didn't have time to re-record it. But lots of good feedback in there, lots of ones that I didn't think of. There's some really, really great ones that I should have included and I didn't. Like Michael from Dresden Files, I didn't include that. That was a great, great pick that I really do wish I had remembered. But, you know, when it comes to things like this, nobody's perfect, especially when you're just kind of doing these things on the fly like that. So I'm pretty happy with my list. I'm sure there will be more that will join over the course of time. But, you know, always got time to shout out those dads on Father's Day and give them some recognition, especially my favorite fictional dads, because, yeah, we all need that little fictional dad once in a while. I did kind of like a re-review, I guess you would say. When I first started the channel, the first thing I did that was not Wheel of Time was The First Law, Joe Abercrombie. One, because I wanted more people to read it, and two, because I wanted to see, is this me that people are tuning in for, or is it just Wheel of Time that they're tuning in for? So that was kind of like my litmus test of, you know, what the channel has become. And so when I did my reviews of the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie, all I did was spoilers. Just all full spoilers. When I started this channel, it was just full spoilers. I didn't do the stuff that I do now. So it's a long, long journey to get here. But I said, hey, how about I go back now? They're doing a read-along of the original trilogy on my Discord. Now would be a great time to maybe redo some of those and do them in the current standard format that I have now. You know, because in the end, guys, the hope is to always just get more people to read the First Law trilogy, because it's very dear to me, and I love to just pass that gift along to other people. And apparently people really were interested in it. It's probably, I said that like some of my lowest viewed videos these days are actual reviews. I think this one was close to like 8,000 views before I started recording this. So that's neat. That's neat. Maybe people are still interested in getting into First Law, or they're just ready for me to talk more First Law, because I can always talk more First Law, guys. I love to talk First Law. It is my my favorite modern fantasy series. So I got no problems talking about it. So we'll be doing one of those a month. I'll be doing Before They Were Hanged next month, and then obviously Last Argument Kings. And then I think I'm going to kind of do one to kind of gauge going from there before I decide to do you know, the standalone books. Or a video, a question I get most frequently is, should I read the standalone? So maybe I'll do a video on that. But, you know, there's plenty of time between now and then. But I'm always happy to talk more First Law, especially since we aren't getting any new First Law for who knows how long. And then I did my talk about nothing, guys, and my guest this month was Michael K. Vaughn, MKV as I like to call him. He actually is one of the best at classic literature. He focuses mostly on classic literature and comics, and I just think it's a great channel. I want to make sure I could help do my part to get more eyes on his channel, because I feel like he's kind of more in like the Philip Chase branch of BookTube, in that he talks, you know, at a different, he's not quite covering the same kind of stuff that I am here, and I like to make sure that other people are finding these really great channels of stuff talking about classic books, because I feel like there is like almost nobody on BookTube that talks about classic books. When I first discovered him, when I was looking for other people talking about Conan and Barsoom by Edgar Rice Burroughs, he was the only other one doing it. So I think it was a natural fit for us to have a discussion. Did have some technical difficulties. That's just going to happen, guys. Sometimes when you do live streams, it's just going to happen. It's obviously something that neither one of us were happy with, but you know, it is what it is when you do these things live. Sometimes some things happen or whatever, but I still feel like if you can soldier through it, the discussion was really great, and I had a great time picking his brain. He's a very, very smart guy and a very, very excellent human being. We talked a lot before and after we recorded, and would do so again. Very, very awesome guy, and I hope you guys will check out his channel. I'll drop a link to his channel below if you guys want to check him out, and give him a sub, because he is an awesome guy. We're going to get him to 10,000 by the end of the summer. That's the goal. Get him up to 10,000 subs. Let's talk about a little next week plans, guys. I am going to be updating my TBR for the summer. Now, I only do this once a quarter, so I have no problems doing that. I did break some things on this last one. Like I haven't finished Shattered Sea. I decided to kind of bail on Dark Tower. So there are going to be some changes to what I did have planned. But I'm going to kind of talk about what some of those changes are going to be for July, August, and September. I mostly have the framework in place. Obviously, there's going to be a read-along over that time. Actually, two of them. One of them's mine, and one of them is just someone on the Discords that I'm joining. But there are lots of things to fill in the gaps between them. So that isn't set in stone as of this recording, so it'll be interesting to see what comes, what goes, and if I can add more Robert McCammon into it. That's always going to be something I'm going to be interested in doing now, I think. And then the review for next week. I do try to stick still to you and doing, I mean, I have reviews in the title of this channel, so I'm never going to abandon the reviews, even if I feel like people aren't watching them that much anymore. I'm going to review Jade City. Was going to do this just as a trilogy, but so many people are asking me to review that first book. So I think I'll review that first book, and if you guys like that and want more, then maybe I'll review each book in that trilogy. But as of right now, The plan is I'm going to review Jade City, see how it goes, and then decide to have a discussion maybe after I finish. Me and Jake Bishop have actually talked about having like a spoiler discussion when I'm done, since he was the one who very famously got me to read that before I read Live Ship Trader. Sorry, Jake, I'm never going to let it go. But I think it'll be a fun conversation to have with Jake, because I did really enjoy that first book, and I'm going to enjoy talking a lot about it. And then one that I've kind of had on the back burner for a while is, I didn't want to do it so close to my last one. Another series I kind of want to start, or did kind of really start, is where I should start with. Now, this is questions that I get about where I should start with a specific author or series, something like that. I did one with Star Wars. I've done one with Stephen King. And I had a new idea of one that I was going to do, and I'm doing this based solely off of questions that I get. If I get the question enough to justify getting making a video for where you should start with them, then I'll go ahead and do that. I'm not going to this isn't just going to be something I do all the time. If it's something I get asked a lot, something I do get asked a lot still to this day, is where should I start with Brandon Sanderson and the Cosmere. So I'm going to do a where I should start with the Cosmere, because all I have read is his Cosmere stuff. I haven't read anything outside of the Cosmere. So I think that'll be a fun conversation to have, and mostly because I haven't talked about the Cosmere on the channel for a bit now. We haven't really gotten a new book, have we? I know Lost Metal is supposed to be coming out, but it's still another year plus before the next Stormlight Archive book. So yeah, it does feel like kind of slow going right now for me, because I haven't read, like I said, anything else outside of the Cosmere. So yeah, I think that's be the best place for me to start with a video like this, is where you should start with the Cosmere. And that should be happening sometime this week. But that's all I got on tap, guys. There are a couple of TV and movie talk things. Did go see Elvis last night. That's why this video is late, because I usually record these on Thursday night, and we didn't get home until like 11, because, guys, it is a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. But I'm not going to talk too much about it now, because even though I know 99% of you probably aren't interested in this, I am going to do a independent review of the Elvis movie, because I feel like I only go to the theater once in a great while now. I mean, I can count on one hand how many times I go to the theater per year now. So I don't feel like I have any problem doing a specific movie review for stuff like that. And obviously, if it's something that was very important to me, like the Elvis movie was. Big Elvis fan, so of course I want to talk about it and give it some attention. I'll just say up front, I liked a lot of it. There were some things as a mega fan that really just grated on me, and I'm going to talk about those. But I think if you are more of a casual, I think you will absolutely appreciate everything about the movie. I think you'll have a great time with it, and I recommend that you do go see it, if for anything, in the theater, because it is a visual feast. It is a Baz Luhrmann film, guys, so it is going to be easy on the eyes. But there are some things that I do want to talk about, but it is way more good than bad, and I will go ahead and say, go ahead and start polishing that Oscar for Austin Butler, because if he doesn't at least get a nomination, the Academy needs to just close up shop. That dude was incredible. I can't wait to see him in Dune. Let's talk about Dune. Dune Part 2, we did get another casting, and this one was such a surprise, because it is going to be for Margot Fenring, which is incredible, because I did not think they were going to be putting the Fenrings in this movie. Now, I can't remember who I fan casted as Margot Fenring in my my fan casting Dune video, and I can't even say that the actress's name. I know she was in the James Bond movies. Léa Seydoux. I can't remember how to say her actual name, but cool, great pick. I am just excited they are putting the Fenrings in this movie, so I cannot wait to see who Denny casts as the Count, because that is a conniving son of a bitch, and I cannot wait to see what he does. But at this point, guys, like I said, Denny V has my 100% trust. No matter what he picks here, I'm probably going to like it. So just exciting times, guys, for Dune Part 2. And seeing now how Austin Butler really just lost himself in this Elvis role, and he's already talking about doing knife fighting and taking like actual knife fighting and stuff about to play Fade Ralpha. I can't wait to see what is coming up with the Dune Part 2. Officially starting the countdown, guys. We got over a year and a half away from Dune Part 2. I guess I should close by talking about this Jon Snow series that HBO wants to do. No, it's a pass for me. No, I never say never, but just as far as like this being something I don't want. I am very excited about House of the Dragon. I talked about why I think that House of the Dragon is actually going to turn out to be really good. And one of the biggest reasons in that video was because it has source material, we saw what happens when HBO tries to fanfic something, and this would obviously be fan fiction taking place after the Game of Thrones series. I don't know who is asking for this, why they're doing this. There's so much stuff that is actually written that they could do. Duncan Egg, you could do Robert's Rebellion, you could do Aegon's Conquest. There's so much great stuff that you could do with A Song of Ice and Fire, and you're choosing to do a fan fiction of Jon Snow after the events of Game of Thrones. I mean, okay, whatever. I'm personally not excited about it. Like I said, to me, that show works when they have George as the creator. When he is off the stuff that he has written, that's when the show really hit its peak. So, I'm not holding my breath on that one. But again, HBO has this IP. They want to use it. Hey, why not drive it in the ground like Disney is doing with Star Wars, right? Let's go ahead and do these things. So, guys, that's all I have for this week. Look out for that Elvis review if you are interested in. I will be getting that up sometime this weekend and the other stuff, obviously, throughout the week as I try to get some things done before this upcoming vacation, which is very, very needed. So, guys, how was your week? What are you watching? What are you reading? What do you listen to? What do you play? And drop in the comments and let me know, and have yourselves an awesome weekend.